GTA 6 was officially announced in February 2022. After what felt like an age since GTA 5 was released, fans finally had confirmation that the next installment of the series was on its way. For Rockstar, however, it seems like development hasn't been sunshine and roses. In spite of the leaks that we know about and little tidbits of information causing ripples in the fanbase, development has chugged along, but not without hiccups, apparently. GTA 5 is now a full decade old. When you think about it like that, not only does it make you feel old, but it also goes to show just how long it's been since a new GTA game came out. A testament to the longevity of the game that keeps players coming back for more in the online mode. But not every fan plays the online mode, and quite a lot have probably moved on, eagerly waiting for the next game, making memes in the process about how long it's taking to come up with new titles in the franchise. The crazy thing is, GTA 6 actually began its development back in 2012, a year before the release of GTA 5. While this might only have been the very bare bones concepts, the idea for it was conceived just before 5 came out. Focus for the most part would have been on getting GTA 5 out of the door, so the team working on 6 would have been small. What is good to know here is that Rockstar have had plans for the 6th installment in their minds for as long as GTA 5 has been out, and then some. All that would have gone on during this stage would have been a lot of pre-production, planning, and building of prototypes before anything was ever set in stone. To showcase just how skeletal the game would have been at this point, Rockstar originally intended the game to be set in Tokyo, where they sent some scouting teams. Obviously, from what we know now, that isn't the case, but it goes to show just how much things can chop and change in the early stages of development, when nothing has been fully committed to. It's likely why no one in the public space would have been aware of the game even being a concept at the time. After Rockstar's little jaunt in Japan, they concluded that, quote, GTA is America, thus putting an end to speculation that we might get a foreign location to visit. It also put to bed any rumors that we might see another GTA London location. Maybe one of these days they might decide to branch out beyond the United States, but it is not this day. This is when GTA 6 we know was born. Initially codenamed Project Americas, it was intended to span locations in both North and South America, possibly even Central America, but now we'll never really know. Between 2015 and 2018, with Rockstar's main focus being on Red Dead Redemption 2, a small team of developers were working on GTA 6. A number of former employees and contractors have listed work experience on the game during this time. When RDR2 finally got out the door, Rockstar came under fire for initially bragging about putting their employees through grueling, sweatshop-level work weeks of 100+ hours. Rockstar co-founder Dan Houser chimed in to say that it was him and his senior team who were the ones working the insane hours. But take that with a heaping bowl of salt. Many former employees were quick to point out that it was the rank-and-file staff who were being ground into dust in order to meet crunch time, with a lot of staff reporting being forced to work 12-hour days including Saturdays during the dreaded crunch. A not insignificant number of staff were let go once the game was finished, regardless of how hard they had worked to make it. This prompted a lot of backlash against Rockstar, and due to the absolute dumpster fire of Anthem's release, EA's ridiculous shenanigans, and some horrendous offerings from Ubisoft, the gaming industry itself became heavily scrutinized. Industry practices like crunch time were now being derided in the public eye as not only being a terrible thing to do to your employees, but also being bad for the games themselves. Despite Red Dead Redemption 2 being a demonstrable masterpiece, the idea that many slaved their lives away to make it left a bitter taste in fans' mouths. With Rockstar facing the firing line, things went from bad to worse. No one could deny just how good of a game the single-player version of RDR2 was. And fans were excited to see if the online version would hold just as much water, if not more, than its GTA 5 counterpart. Fans couldn't have been more disappointed. Those that played the first version of Red Dead Online were met with a completely broken economy and a game world completely lacking in content. As wide as an ocean, but as deep as a puddle. There was quite literally nothing to do but repeat missions and grief other players. Rockstar were now getting it from both ends with double-ended dildos. Fans who cared about the people who make our favorite games were being outraged at how they had been treated. Even if Red Dead 2 was amazing, none of that mattered if the means didn't justify the ends. On the flip side, fans who just wanted to play the game online were outraged at how little effort or thought had gone into it, other than being a cynical cash grab, fostering pay-to-win mentalities and doing absolutely nothing to curb rampant griefing from bored players. At this point, development of GTA 6 was reportedly halted. All we know for sure is that a prominent and reliable leaker known as Tez2 let it out that GTA 6 was undergoing a significant reboot right before the release of Red Dead 2. Teams across Rockstar found themselves either working solely on GTA Online content or getting whipped to churn out content and fixes for Red Dead Online. It didn't take them too long to get their act together, balancing out the Red Dead Online economy, taking steps to deter griefing and actually fill the world with things to do. But that damage had already been done. Even though GTA Online is still going to this day, Red Dead Online wouldn't get the same treatment. Around mid to late 2019, GTA 6 was booted back up again and development continued. Rockstar announced later that they would no longer be supporting further development of Red Dead's online mode. Naturally, this also didn't go down too well with fans who had actually stuck it out and saw Red Dead Online become something worthy of their time. However, most fans had long since abandoned it and were eagerly awaiting GTA 6. What happened internally during this brief period is unclear. We do know that Rockstar has undergone a lot of internal changes, especially to its upper management. Gone is the frat boy mentality that saw a lot of bad press post RDR2 release. But in terms of GTA 6, we're not sure what, if anything, was chopped and changed. One thing we do know is that Project Americas became a smaller, much less ambitious version of itself. More like Project America now. Specifically only one part of the United States, Florida. GTA 6 was returning the franchise back to Vice City, only this time it was swapping out the hair metal and cocaine of the 80s for the smartphones and social media of the modern era. Citing a smaller initial release with the plans to release more content and map extensions over time, it was clear that Rockstar were not only banking on the longevity of the game, they had also taken on board the views of their staff and their supporters in the public sphere, putting an end to crunch or at least appearing to do so. If Take-Two decided to set some deadlines for 2024, 5-ish, Rockstar staff may not have much of a say. Let's hope that they're not shy of pushing back deadlines if the game isn't ready, rather than melting staff with sweatshop hours. For the game itself, we can only assume that after the success of Red Dead Redemption 2, Rockstar may have decided to see what systems from the game could be implemented in the new GTA. The immersion of the world of Red Dead 2 was phenomenal to say the least. If Rockstar had been working on GTA 6 since 2012, they could have had a few prototypes that looked a bit more like GTA 5. With RDR2 pushing the limits on what could be achieved in a game, it's likely they decided to see what kind of tech could look like in GTA. This would have taken them some time, and a lot of things that might have been built in the run-up may have been completely overhauled. But as far as we know, Rockstar did have their hands full at the time, and the closest we got to seeing any of it was the September 2022 leaks. In March 2020, Dan Houser left Rockstar. A lot of people who follow the GTA series as well as Rockstar's other games know all too well how much of an impact Houser had on the games. For over 20 years, he was the lead creative in their developments. Although he left right before the COVID pandemic hit, he had actually been on an extended break since the spring of 2019. Houser had decided to step down after years in the industry working on games he'd first conceived of with his brother, Sam. Regardless of what some fans may think about his decision to leave Rockstar, the decision appears to be entirely his own. In his own words, he himself had become exhausted by the over 100-hour crunch weeks that preceded the release of RDR2. For those who may be fretting that this will impact the development of GTA 6 and that it won't be the same as any of the other games, that there is something to be very optimistic about. GTA 6 has reportedly been developing since 2012. Houser would have had plenty of inputs into the game up to the point when he decided to leave, and his influence will surely be felt in the game. To put it in his own words, quote, "For us, it starts with the characters. The story is always driven by the characters. It's always got to feel like someone you want to be propelled through the game world with. Then we'll find a cool, interesting, and amusing cast to juxtapose them with. And make sure we've got a good range of types. If the process feels organic to us, then we're heading in the right direction. From the inception of the game as a concept, the story and its arcs, characters, and events will have House's fingerprints all over it. While the technical building of the game may still be happening in earnest, it's highly doubtful that the story would be undergoing any rewrites at this stage. So don't worry, it will have the look, sound, and feel of a well-written Rockstar game. So after the reboot and development, what do we know? Surprisingly little, unfortunately. The leaks gave us a lot of material to gawk at and salivate over, but when it comes to how the development of the game is actually going, we can only hope it's going well. After Rockstar's staff shakeup and the dropping of different locations, it seems the large chunks of the map and therefore the playable story have landed on the cutting room floor, hopefully not to be sold back to us all as DLC. If anything, we hope that the project was too large and ambitious for them to handle without pushing the release date back into the 2030s. Time will tell, dear viewer. Hopefully, the drop locations in South America won't become cynical cash grabs. The key takeaway from all of this is that games undergoing development are constantly changing. As with any game, going from concept to finished product is a process, never a linear path. Play any early access game and you'll know what we're talking about. Or play Star Citizen, the game where you pay to become an unpaid environment tester and bug hunter for creeping new features like wrinkled blankets and space boredom. Developers may have an idea of what they want the game to be, but the outcome is never what they envision. It is constant iteration throughout the years of development, where company culture and advancing tech can influence design directions. If GTA 6 had come out 6 or 7 years ago, we might have actually seen something that looked and felt more like GTA 5, but in Tokyo, long before the release of RDR 2. Now, we get to look forward to going back to Vice City, with all the cool stuff that Rockstar proof-tested in Red Dead 2. If you like this video and are feeling all hyped up about GTA 6, then check out our video here on screen about how GTA 6 just got a whole lot better. Or, better yet, redeem for the sins of man and give in to the AI gods of the YouTube machine. It learns, it thrives, it contends. It will grant you all the knowledge you seek. All it requires is for you to like and subscribe. Tell it what you want from it. Surrender.